Hello, LinkedIn. It's day 14 of the 21 LinkedIn Lives Challenge. Today is Christmas Eve. Not sure if you celebrate today or not. It doesn't quite matter. I just wanted to have a little chat with you about magic. Hello, Stefan. So good to see you. Hope you're having an amazing day. So, before I dive into this, I will, as always, kindly ask you to share this video with someone who will resonate and benefit from it. It will mean the world to me. And today, for day 14 of this incredible journey, of this incredible challenge, talking to you guys, I want to talk about magic because it's the magical time of the year. In a lot of places on this planet right now, people are getting ready to receive greatness, to receive magic, to experience magic. And some of them also need to face some challenges and spend time with family, which can be quite a task, right? Hi, please see my message sending it to you. Okay, I will. I will. Have a safe flight. Happy holidays, Mara. So, you see, I actually don't really celebrate Christmas very much over the last few years. But that doesn't mean that I don't celebrate life and that I don't use every opportunity that I can to celebrate life. And so I decide to celebrate Christmas in my own way. I would love to read in the comments, how do you normally celebrate? How do you spend this time? Do you spend time with your family? Do you go visit your parents? Do you spend time with your own family or with your spouse, with your partner, maybe with your friends? Or maybe you just spend time by yourself and you just watch some cool movies and listen to some nice music and prepare a nice meal. Or maybe you don't even notice that it comes and goes. Whatever your way of going through the end of the year, I can tell you that for me, this time of the year is quite magical. You will see your mom after so many years. That's incredible. I'm so happy for you. It's going to be such an incredible time. So excited for you. And so, you see, I did not enjoy Christmas for quite a while because it wasn't really that magical for me, especially when my mom passed away back in 2012. Oh my God, actually, she passed away in November 2012. So that was right before Christmas. And you can imagine how different those first Christmas without mom was. That was like everybody was completely lost because before she passed away, every Christmas Eve we would go to my dad's mom to spend the Christmas Eve there with the family. On the first Christmas day, we would go to my mom's mom to spend Christmas there. And on the second Christmas day, we would just decide what we do. And we probably would go for a little time outside, somewhere in nature, and come back home and eat all the leftovers and watch all the Christmas movies, the four of us with my brother and my parents. And I remember as a child, we used to have a lot of snow. It was very cold back in Lithuania back then. And in fact, I remember Christmas, which had so much snow that we couldn't even drive, or we couldn't even start the car because it was too cold. It was something like minus 20 degrees Celsius. Nowadays, I live in Portugal, so right now it's nearly 20 degrees Celsius. It's warm and lovely, and sun is shining, and everything is wonderful. So, anyhow, that first Christmas after my mom passed away, that was very confusing for everyone because suddenly everyone had questions like, so what do we do? Do we go to this grandma or do we go to that grandma or do we, I don't know, mix it all up and do we all get together on both days together with both grandmas? Like, what do we do? And so Christmas became somehow not as magical. Since 2012, it wasn't that exciting. Everyone was just not really enjoying it very much. It was just not the same. And really, in some ways, it will never be the same because my mom was always the glue of the family, the one who was bringing a lot of joy and laughter, and she was kind of the heart of the family. So it is what it is. But here's what changed over the last few years. In fact, since I started really diving into personal development and understanding myself, understanding my emotions, understanding my thoughts and what they mean, understanding who I am, what's important to me, what matters, what I want, what I desire, understanding my relationships, first of all, with myself, but also with other people, how I relate to other people, family dynamics, dynamics between my friends. When I started really diving into the underlying web of how we are all interconnected, bit by bit by bit by bit, things really started changing for the better. And so you probably heard this saying, if you think you're spiritual, if you think that you've got this because you've worked on yourself for such a long time or so hard, then go spend some time with family. And Mara probably is going to experience some of it, spending time with her mom. Hello, Frank. So great to see you again. Yeah, well, go spend some time with family, right? Then all of your buttons are going to be pushed. All of the triggers, all of the patterns are going to come to the surface. And so, over the last few years, every time I had the chance to spend time with my family during this Christmas time, or any time for that matter, every single time there was something coming to the surface. There was something triggered. And so every time I learned something about myself, I learned some deeper dynamics, deeper patterns, deeper behaviors, deeper beliefs. And each and every time, I became a better version of myself as a result of that. Even if in the moment it felt kind of icky and uncomfortable, and there were some conflicts going on, or something was unsaid, or there was a feeling like they don't really understand me, they don't get it, they have the opinions that are too strong and they're trying to force those opinions onto me. So there was some kind of resentment building up, and it was just messy. Let's put it this way. But each and every time I spent time with family, it became easier and easier and easier. It became more and more peaceful, more and more loving, more and more understanding, more and more compassionate. Each and every time I took more and more responsibility for my own side of the street, for my own emotions, for my own internal whatever was going on there. And so each and every time it was just becoming way more pleasant to spend time with them. Your mother is part of you. Yes, she is. She is a part of me. She's always with me. What a blessing. You met her and you remember her. Yeah, exactly. And so the reason I want to talk about magic today is because all this work is a foundation that you build for magic to happen. All of this work that you do is you cleaning up your side of the street so that magic can enter your life. And when I look back, I was such a different version of me. My entire life was completely different. Everything about it was on the other side, 180 degrees. At the time, there was not as much magic. I wish there was, and I was aiming for it, I was dreaming about it, but only as soon as I started doing the work and really investing in myself and really getting curious about why do we think the way we think? Why do I behave the way I behave? Why do I believe what I believe? Why does my dad say these things always, always? Why does my brother constantly responds this way when I say XYZ? Why does my grandma feel the need to do that thing every single time? Like each and every time I started just getting curious instead of getting triggered, I started getting curious about like, why is it so? What makes it so? Why is reality like that? And then it opened a door to get even more curious about, what is possible? Can I change that? Can I go in a different direction? Can I do things differently? Could I respond in a different way? Could I, instead of exploding or being mean or not really understanding why they do what they do, why they say what they say, maybe I can put myself in their shoes and try to understand better. Maybe I could be more loving. Maybe I could be kinder. Maybe I could just hold myself back from my automatic reactions and take my time with the way I respond. And you know what? That curiosity, which really started flourishing in a sense, because I started noticing that each and every time I was responding differently, each and every time I treated any situation with curiosity instead of being triggered by it, it constantly gave me new insights. It constantly gave me a sense of like, wow, I understand it better. Wow, I get it. I understand why they behave this way or act this way or say these things, why they believe that. Now I understand where it's coming from. Wow, now I start connecting the dots. Now I start really feeling what they feel. Now I no longer take things as personally as I used to. Now I don't explode as I used to. Now I don't have to defend myself like I used to. And so then, not only that there's curiosity about yourself, not only that you open the door to be curious about other people and their patterns, not only that you opened another deeper door to understand the way the world works and the way society works, the way we all function and that we all are connected. Now there's yet another door to open, the door of magic. Because now you see, the deeper you go down the rabbit hole, like Alice did, there is yet another door, and another door, and another door, and another door. And then you follow the white rabbit. You're like, oh, there's more magic for me out there. There's something deeper there. I can create a different reality. That's when you start realizing that everything in life happened because of who you used to be and the way you used to think, because of how you were brought up and where you were brought up and what happened to you and to your family and to your ancestors. But now there is that door of magic where you know what happens behind that door is that you start creating your own reality. You start creating magic. You become a magician. You become a person who is a visionary, who instead of just living a life like it always happened, going with the flow, which is fine, now you start actually taking control. Now you start unlocking some really incredible, magical insights and codes within your psyche, within your mind, within your soul that changes everything. And every single time you unlock something new, every single insight, big or small, it doesn't quite matter. It starts reshaping your experience of life. It starts reshaping the way you experience yourself, the way you treat yourself, the way you have a relationship with yourself, the things you believe about yourself, the things you believe are possible for you. And so, in this conversation today, on a day of Christmas Eve, I want you to realize how magical life really is. I want you to realize that you can create your reality, that you can change every single thing in your life. You can change the way you perceive everything. And as a result, You will be a different version of you. You will be a different person. You will act differently. You will think differently. You will feel differently. You will talk differently. You will walk differently. You will relate differently. And because of that, people are going to respond differently. Life is going to respond differently. Clients will respond to you differently. Business partners will respond to you differently. Your colleagues will respond to you differently. Your employees will respond to you differently. Your kids will respond to you differently. Strangers on the street will respond to you differently. I have this one beautiful example of one of my dear clients who had to go to a conference, like a convention in Spain. And normally he said, you know what? Normally I would be kind of grumpy. I don't want to go there. I don't really like traveling. It's going to suck. It's not going to be so exciting. I know exactly what to expect. And normally, when he went to these kind of conferences in the past, that's how he would experience it. Not that exciting, not really meeting interesting people. But this time, because of our work together, he said, you know what? I want to make it a magical, exciting, really fun trip. So, what I decided to do is to drive there instead of flying to Bilbao in the north of Spain. I decided to drive there by car. And that means passing by some really cute little towns, booking an Airbnb or so somewhere in a really nice location, treating myself really well, and going to this convention with an open heart, with an open mind, and really being like excited about what I'm going to experience, what's going to happen here. And because of that attitude, with that magical, like I will sneak in, I will open that door of curiosity to see how I can shape my reality differently. Because of that, he met so many incredible people. He met someone who he had no clue he was going to meet them, but he really, really wanted to get hold of him for a very long time. He bumped into someone really important in the elevator and finally proposed their idea to them. And basically, this entire trip became the biggest success for a very, very long time because he was so open, because he was so excited, because he was so curious. And he was no longer kind of hiding somewhere in the corner and just, having his coffee in the during the breaks of the event. Instead, he was being an initiator, introducing himself, saying hi in the elevator, pitching his ideas, connecting people with each other, being the network specialist that he is, which brought so much success and so much fulfillment. He actually had a good time and he came back home with a full heart and being like, oh my God, this was so much fun. I wish I would have done this every single time when I went to a convention like that. You see, your attitude changes everything in your life. Your attitude, your curiosity, your desire to create a magical life sets the tone for everything, sets the tone for your life, for your relationships, for your business success. And that's what I want you to create. That's what I want you to tap into now that we're wrapping up 2024. I want you to bring more and more of that energy of magic into 2025, where you're curious, where you're eager, where you're driven, where you're excited, where you're positive, where you decide how your life unfolds. You don't just go with the flow. You're the one taking radical responsibility. And that curiosity, like Alice in the Wonderland, I want you to treat your life like that. Being in that wonderland, following that white rabbit, which actually reminds me of a crazy, crazy experience I had in the jungle in Brazil when I lived there. So you can imagine I lived in a deep jungle, okay? In a deep jungle. And I went for a little walk with my friend. And we're walking somewhere where we normally don't go. And there's barely anything. There's actually just a couple of tiny sheds, like people live very poorly there. But there's really not much going on. And we decide to go in that direction, and we're basically in the middle of the jungle. And suddenly, out of the blue, there's this crisp white rabbit in the freaking jungle. Crisp white rabbit crossing the dirt road. Dirt road, which makes things dirty, right? There's crisp white rabbit. Like, what? That to me was a complete, okay, I need to follow the rabbit hole. That was an eye opener that I was meant to go down the unknown, go down the rabbit hole, go down the door, the hidden door where there is some magic happening. Be curious. So that is what I wanted to share with you today. This beautiful day, day 14, because magic is here. You are magical. Your life is magical. Your reality is magical. The world is magical if you treat it like that. And I can tell you from my personal experience, like I just shared a little bit of prehistory of how not magical my life used to be. Right now, my life is nothing but magic. Constantly, consistently. Every single day, there's something beautiful and magical happening. Every single day, it surprises me with something, with some deep insights, with some synchronicities, with new opportunities, with new clients, with everything. I need to pinch myself. I wake up in the morning and I look through the window, seeing the ocean with cliffs, and I'm like, that's my life. But you know what? 4 years ago, actually, 4 years ago, when I was already working as a full-time coach, I moved from Berlin at the time to Portugal. And I was humble enough to start living in Portugal by living in a freaking trailer from the 70s. And I lived there for about 6 weeks. And then I moved in with a Portuguese family living in their attic. in the Sintra area close to Lisbon. And I lived with them for about 2.5 or 3 months. Like, can you imagine the difference? Like, how much had to change, how much had to transform, how I had to shed skins to go from that reality to where I am today. Like, life is freaking magical. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Anything. And I'm so freaking excited about what's yet to come, what's about to come in 2025, what's going to happen, the things that are going to unfold. Mm, I'm so excited for you. If you allow yourself to dream, if you allow yourself to live that magical life, I'm so freaking excited for you. And you know what? If you need my support, if you want my support, if you want to go hand in hand, if you want to create 2025 the most incredible year of your entire life, if you're excited to go down that rabbit hole with my support, I will be so freaking happy and excited to do that with you. If that resonates, send me a message and we make it happen. We make it happen. I'm gonna do it together with you. You have a vision. I've been there myself. We are going to make it happen. Your business, your relationships, who you are, how you live your life, your extraordinary life, your passion business, soul driven business. Yes, that's what you're creating. That's what we're doing in 2025 from the inside out. It's going to be so exciting, so juicy, so powerful, so magical. I can't wait. So send me a message if this is something you want to do in 2025. Share this message with someone who will be fired up by this story, who will be like, oh my God, yes, I want this. I want to live this way. I want to create magic in my life. I want to live an extraordinary life. I want to build an incredible, thriving passion business. I want all of this. Share that with someone who really need to hear this, or share it on your profile, or share the YouTube video when it's up on my YouTube channel. And also, if you want more of this greatness, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at ruta.infusion. So that is it for today. Have a wonderful Christmas Eve. I will be back tomorrow for the first Christmas day for day 15 of the 21 LinkedIn Live Challenge. And see you tomorrow. I love you. You're incredible. And I'm super excited for you. Ciao, ciao.